Going on, y'all? We are back this week with another video. I did take last week off. I just felt like there was a week, and I kind of put this. I don't know how often like these get seen, and a lot of these people that watch my videos aren't subscribers, but I put in the little like post things. I was just like, I needed to take maybe a week off, and I didn't really have the time last Sunday either as well. Sorry, guys, my voice is going out there. I didn't really have the time last Sunday you does well to get the video recorded and put out. But I am ramping it up. We have this full week right here is the last full week without the NFL draft in it. It will be the next Thursday. I think it's the 26th, if I'm correct on the date. I might be wrong with that though. Maybe the 24th. Um, yeah, I think it's 24th through the 26th actually. But yeah, I'm gonna ramp it up. I'm gonna try to get two videos out this week and next week. If you've been around the channel before, I always put out my final mock draft, full first round mock draft on the day of the draft. Past 2 years, I think I actually did two rounds. I am just gonna do one this year though, because what my plan is I'm going to put out two videos on that Friday after round one, kind of a reaction to round one, and then also a predictive day two of the draft, which is rounds two and three, based off what had happened in round one. So, I had put out a tentative schedule. I said Steelers 3.0 was going to be today, which, well, I guess technically tomorrow. I drop them on Monday. I record them on Sunday, but technically tomorrow, but today. This upcoming Thursday, I was going to do a 3.0 first full round. What I think I'm going to do with that is I think I'm going to actually change that to a two-round mock, my first two-round mock of the year and only two-round mock of the year. And then next Monday was going to be a random division 7 round mock draft because I haven't put one of those out this year. And then obviously draft day, final predictive, and then what I said earlier about the day after that. I did decide to change it though. I'm gonna do a full division, and it's gonna be the AFC East, which is the Patriots, Jets, Dolphins, and Bills. I really wanted to do this one because I feel like the Patriots and the Jets and the Dolphins really all three have interesting first round picks, and the Patriots and Jets have an interesting approach after the first round as well, with how their teams are set up. I am gonna be completely honest here though. I don't have a ton of time to get this video recorded today. I've got about 30 minutes roughly. So I'm going to be running through this. And with these full division 7 mocks, I don't run two or three like I do for a single team. I just run one because I'm picking for four different teams here. So I'm probably going to be making 30 to 40 picks. But I do want to run through these depth charts real quick. So let's get into it. Starting off with the Patriots, who have the number 4 overall pick in the draft this year. Looking at the receivers, they did go get Stephon Diggs and Matt Collins to improve that receiver room. I'm not necessarily sold on that to be like, hey, they're not taking Ted McMillan at 4. But I do think that it might take that out of the cards. Maybe they're going to target something else. On the offensive line, they went and got Garrett Bradbury and Morgan Moses to both slide in as starters at center and right tackle. Cole Strange, Verdarian Lowe on that left side of the line, kind of weak. Michael Winnow, obviously good at right guard, 6th round pick in 2020. I think they gave him a big extension last offseason. Um, Tight end, I think they're fine with Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper. They also got Jaheim Bell in the 7th round last year, I think, out of South Carolina, or no, out of Florida State, actually. I was thinking he was South Carolina for some reason. Quarterback, obviously Drake May looked really good last year, 3rd overall pick in the draft last year. Joshua Dobbs, they brought in as a backup. Mondre Stevenson, Antonio Gibson in the running back room. I'm gonna be honest, I think I'm lower on that than most. In my opinion, I might would target a running back at some point in this draft, if not even kind of early, like maybe 2nd or 3rd round on the Patriots. Defense side of the ball, the Patriots went on a spending spree on the defense side of the ball. Now it was needed. It was very needed. Milton Williams, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. Tonga from Arizona. Harold Landry III, Jack Gibbons, Robert Spillane, Clavon Chasen, uh, Carlton Davis III, and Marcus Epps. Brought in a lot of guys, really improved that defense, which was needed. My needs list for the New England Patriots. I said wide receiver, left tackle, left guard. Those are like my three big needs. Front 7 depth, I think, is in play as well. Just kind of getting some guys, especially on the interior, I think would be important. And kind of edge rusher, maybe not so much, but interior backer, probably some not edge help, but some interior backer help there as well, probably depth wise. Um, and then I think halfbacks also in play. Going to the Jets on the offensive side of the ball, they lost Aaron Rod. Well, Yeah, they lost Aaron Rodgers, so we got Justin Fields. They also lost Devontae Adams. I think we're both cuts though, anyways. Um, they did bring in Josh Reynolds and Tyler Johnson. Originally, one of the biggest needs I had for the Jets was wide receiver help because it was just Garrett Wilson, Allen Lazard, Malachi Corley, and Xavier Gibson. I did take that off of my needs list now, though, that they got Josh Reynolds and Tyler Johnson. I think there's enough there. I think that's six solid receiver. Well, obviously Garrett Wilson's a dog. Like he's a top 15 receiver in the league. But I think you've got five solid receivers after that that can provide you something. Um, Offensive line wise, they got Fashanu, their first round pick last year out of Penn State, John Simpson, Joe Tippmann, Elijah Vera Tucker. I think all four of those guys are solid. They also got Max Mitchell behind Olu Fashanu, who I think started some games last year for them potentially. They also got Josh Myers. Ooh, free agent wise, voice crack there. Former Green Bay starting center as well as a depth piece there. The one problem I have with them is Carter Warren at right tackle. Not too sold on him. He's a fourth round pick in 2023. Jeremy Ruckert, Stone Smart at tight ends, not too sold on that either. Justin Fields, they brought in from Pittsburgh to be their quarterback. Tyrod Taylor backing him up. Breece Hall, Braylon Allen, and Isaiah Davis had some solid, stuff last year as well. Like that's three good running backs, I think. Not good running back, like a really good running back, a solid backup running back, and then a depth piece running back as well. That's pretty solid. They brought in Byron Cowart and Derek Nadi, I think I say it actually. They also brought in Andre Cisco and Brandon Stevens. Uh, you know, I'm not this defense for the past few years has been pretty decent. But I don't think they necessarily need a starter anywhere on the defensive side of the ball. But I do think they could use some depth. My official needs right now for the New York Jets are right tackle, tight end, front seven, and secondary depth. So front seven depth and secondary depth. Moving on to the Miami Dolphins. This is an interesting team. They did bring in Nick Westbrook-Akine. I think wide receiver depth maybe could still be in play. I had that down originally. I don't have it on the list anymore, but I do think it could still be in play. I think you're fine with Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, and Nick Westbrook-Akine, but after that, Malik Washington, D. Eshridge, gets kind of murky there. On offensive line side of this, Patrick Paul, Liam Eichenberg on that left side, not too sold on those two guys. Aaron Brewer's fine at center. I think James Daniels, they brought him from Pittsburgh. As long as he stays healthy, he's good at right guard. And Austin Jackson, I think, is fine at right tackle. They got Jonnu Smith, Julian Hill, Pharaoh Brown on that tight end room. They got Tua and Zach Wilson. They got Devon Achane and Jalen Wright and Alexander Mattison in that running back room. On the defense side of the ball, front seven depth very, very weak, especially on the interior. Jalen Phillips, Chop Robinson, Mo Kamara, Bradley Chubb. I mean, all four, edge rushers I think are fine. Can provide you some production there. Jordan Brooks, Tyler Dodson, Willie Gage Jr., KJ Britt in that inside backer room. And then the secondary, they did lose both their safeties, but they brought in Ifatu Melifonwu from Detroit and Ashton Davis from the Jets. And then that cornerback room is they brought in Artie Burns, but it's like how much is he really providing for you? Miami Dolphins needs. I have left tackle, left guard. Well, really, I said tackle in general. I think Austin Jackson's also kind of replaceable at this point, but mainly, they're probably not going to bring in a left tackle now that I'm thinking about it, just because they got Patrick Paul in the second round last year out of Houston. They're probably going to give him this year to play, see what he looks like. But I did say left tackle, left guard. I said tackle in general, really. Left guard, backup tight end, interior defensive line. I think that's kind of like their biggest need besides that left side of the offensive line. And then safety, I'm not too sold on Melifonwu and Davis, but maybe not a safety early due to the fact that they brought in two free agents and then cornerbacks. And then last but not least, we got the Buffalo Bills. Offense side of the ball, they brought in Joshua Palmer and Laviska Shenault to add to that wide receiver room with Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir, and Curtis Samuel. Offensive line wise, they got Deion Dawkins, David Edwards, Connor McGovern, Osiris Torrance, and Spencer Brown. Tight end wise, they got Dawson Knox, Dalton Kincaid. Quarterback, you know who their quarterback is. Just give him a big, big extension contract. James Cook's in that running back room with Ty Johnson, Ray Davis, Darrington Evans, Frank Gore Jr. All five of those guys I think could probably give you some production at least, especially these first three. Ray Davis had a huge game one year last year, I think, on Monday Night Football. Maybe against the Bengals, maybe. I can't remember. Defense side of the ball, they brought in Michael Hoyt, Larry Ogunjobi, and Joey Bosa in that front seven. Big additions there. Michael Hoyt and Larry Ogunjobi. Both of them got hit with a 6-game suspension, though. Inside backer room, kind of rocking the same guys they've had. Cornerback room, same thing there. They did bring in Dane Jackson, who I think had left for a year and then came back. And then DeMar Hamlin, Taylor Rapp. They also brought in Derek Forrest from Washington in that safety room. My Buffalo Bills needs are IDL. I think that's probably their biggest need. Daquan Jones, not too sold on him. And with your two of your guys that you brought in, well, he's more of an edge rusher anyways, but these are your two starting interior linemen right now. And he was not good last year with Pittsburgh, and he got hit with a suspension. I think that's a need. I think safety could still be a potential need, especially at free safety. No offense to DeMar Hamlin. Cornerback, I think, could still be a need as well. And then I think edge depth could potentially be of use, at least maybe in the later round with Michael Hoyt getting hit with that suspension, because I'm not too sold on Javon Solomon, to be honest. And, you got Bosa, who's getting kind of old, Greg Rousseau and AJ Epinesa. That's really it. I would want to have at least one more guy in that room, right? And then I also said wide receiver. I'm not too sold on Joshua Palmer. Keon Coleman is fine. Khalil Shakir had a really good year last year. Curtis Samuel's fine. Like Keon Coleman, Joshua Palmer, and Curtis Samuel are fine. But like if you can get somebody, I would get somebody. But yeah, that's the depth charts. And let's get in here to the draft. 7 round mock draft. We're gonna go public board up a little bit like we usually do. We take all of these up. That's in the spot we have it in, and we take all those up one. So, real quick, Patriots 4, 38, 69, 77. So 4 picks inside the top 100, and then they also have 5 picks after that. New York Jets have 7, 42, 73. So they have 3 inside the top 100. But they have 3 more or 2 more inside the top 150, and then they have 3 more after that. Miami Dolphins, they've got 13, 48, 98. So they got 3 inside the top 100, but then they have 3 more in the top 150. And then 2, 4, 5 picks after that. 4 of those look like 7th rounders. And then Buffalo Bills, they have 30, 56, 62. So they have 3 inside the top 100, 2 more inside the top 150, and then 5 picks after that as well. So let's get into it. Let's start this draft. Let's see what we're rocking with. With the New England Patriots, and you'll probably hear me talk about this later this week in my 2 round mock draft as well. And I'm going to try to kind of go through it a little faster here because I'm not necessarily here to talk about first round as much, I guess, because we're focusing more on the teams. But where I'm at with the Patriots right now at pick 4, this is kind of how I have the board falling right now in my top 3, just not in this order. It's actually Ward, Hunter, Carter. Spoiler alert for Thursday's video. But I'm down to 2 names really with the Patriots. I think it's Ted McMillan, or I think it's not Ashton Genty. Dude, Ashton Genty would be a wild card actually. I think that could be in there. But Will Campbell is really my pick that I'm down to here for the Patriots. I'm gonna go ahead and take him. My thing is with Will Campbell is you can slot him in at left tackle this year, and if he can't play left tackle, which a lot of people are projecting him to play left guard, if he can't play left tackle, that's cool. Throw him at left guard next year, draft a left tackle next year, or get a free agent, make a trade, right? Something like that. Jets at 7. I think Ted McMillan could be in play. I think I'm gonna go off of him though. I think with Mason Graham sitting here, I think that's gotta be the pick for the Jets though. I think it has to be, even though I don't have ideal list as a need for them. Armand Mimbu would have been the pick if he was on the board. He's gone. I think Tyler Warren's really interesting. I'm actually starting to lead Tyler Warren over Mason Graham. I'm going to take Tyler Warren at pick 7 to the Jets. They did have pick 42, so I guess you could target a tight end in the second round as well if you wanted to go Mason Graham there. That was kind of stupid on my part. I didn't even think about that. All right, the Miami Dolphins sitting here at 13. I think Malachi Starks is in play since he's here. I'm not sure if I would go with him though. Um, I think you got a target line. I think you do. I think you got to target the offensive line. Guard tackle need. Kelvin Banks is usually sitting here. He still is. I think that's a really good pick for them. Gray Zabel, I think, could even potentially be in play. I think Kelvin Banks is a good pick because I think he's a guy like Will Campbell, like I said earlier, that you could play him at tackle and maybe he ends up being a guard and you just go get another tackle, right? Who knows? 30 with the Bills. I really think Walter Nolan's in play here. That's somebody I've been messing around with, picking here at 30. If the Bills were to stay here, I could definitely see the Bills trading out. I don't really want to do any trades due to the sake of time and this, how this video is. James Pierce Jr. is still on the board. That's crazy. Which I could see him falling like this though. Honestly, Nick Scouton went at 25. Interesting. Jalen Walker to the Steelers. Mm. So I just wanted to look at how the Donovan Ezra went at 11. Wow. And Saints picked Tevin Miller. Sorry guys. Just wanted to see how that went. I think with the Bills at 30 with James Pierce Jr. sitting here, I'm really tempted to take him. I think you would pass on any of these receivers here. I think you can get one at 56 just fine. Um, I want to go Trey Amos. That's been kind of like my go-to pick with the Bills here at 30. Him or Walter Nolan, if Walter Nolan's still there, which he is. But James Pierce Jr. sitting here, I usually just draft how the board falls to you, and I think he's too good of a talent. But I'm gonna take Walter Nolan. I'm gonna take Walter Nolan. James Pierce does go before the Patriots pick. I was gonna take him with the Patriots if he was still there. Sure, Sanders' first pick of the second round to the Cleveland Browns isn't that fun. All right, so you're the Patriots. If Gray Zabel was still on the board, I was very much considering him. If you're the Patriots, I think you're looking back. I think probably the best talent on the board here might be Trey Amos, potentially. Jaden Higgins sitting here, though, I think is got to be the pick. I'm interested in Maxwell Harrison and Savon Rebel a little bit, but I think corner is not necessarily needed. You have picks 69 and 77 where I think you could get a running back at. So I think you could target receiver here if you're in New England. Maybe some front seven depth. Is any of those IDLs that I like still here? TJ Sanders is still here. Um, Alfred Collins, Vernon Broughton are back there, though. I think those are two guys that we could pick in these two spots. So I am going to target Jaden Higgins while he's still here. The wide receiver out of Iowa State that I like. Jets at 42. We went Tyler Warren first round. I think you could just use maybe some secondary depth here, and you got a good safety and a good corner sitting here. Really, two good safeties and two good corners sitting here. Braden Swinson, I know a lot of people like, is sitting here as well. As maybe like edge rusher depth. See, we could win Elijah Arroyo. Dang it, man. We could win Elijah Arroyo right here and just took Mason Graham in the first round. Bad drafting on my part. I think you can wait on Marcus Bowe, Jonas Savaitinaya, and Ariante Ursray later. I think I'm just going to take BPA here. I think Trey Amos is really good. I think he could fit into that cornerback room pretty well. 48 with the Dolphins. We took Kelvin Banks Jr. in the first round. I think this is where you kind of look, maybe you double down on the line. You know, maybe take one of those tackles I just talked about, maybe jump a little bit. But I think I'm going to target maybe safety corner, defense here. IDL, TJ Sanders just went, so I think I'm going to hold off on those guys. I would take Alfred Collins this early or Vernon Broughton this early potentially, but I think we can hold off on those guys. Maybe get somebody at 98. I'm going to target secondary here. Kevin Winston Jr. is still on the board. I think they would go safety over corner. I do like Kevin Winston Jr., but I think I like Xavier Watts just a little better. I think Nick Eamon is still here as well. I think they dropped him in the rankings. Yeah, he is. He's under McCuba. I like all four of these guys, to be honest. And I like Latham Ransom and RJ Mickens. Like, those are all solid safeties. There's still some solid corners on the board as well. So maybe we pass up on the safety and we go with one of the corners. I'm kind of down for that. I think I'm going to take. I like Maxwell Harrison. Benjamin Morrison's really good. Just the injury concerns me. I'm gonna take Azariah Thomas. I think it's pronounced differently, but that's the only way I know how to say it. I'm gonna take Azariah Thomas there at 48 to the Dolphins. 56 to the Bills. We went Walter Nolan in the first round. Again, I think Kevin Winston and Benjamin Morrison still here. I think both those guys could be of use. And I think that they have the depth and talent to be like, hey, we're going to take Benjamin Morrison, even though he's got an injury concern. If he ends up not working out, it's fine. They're up again here at 62. Kevin Winston Jr. still sitting here. Nick Eamon and Andrew McCuba probably still here as well. They all are, nope, just McCuba and Kevin Winston Jr. I do like McCuba a little bit better, I think, than Kevin Winston Jr. The coverage grade does worry me a little bit. He did get hurt, though. So I'm going to take Andrew McCuba here at 62 to the Bills. So that gets us IDL, safety, and cornerback for them. 69 with the Patriots. We went Jaden Higgins and Will Campbell so far. I think it's a pretty good draft for them. I think that maybe now you target one of these tackles, maybe a running back. Most of the tackles that we like are gone. Maybe primarily Ursure there. I'm fine with Marcus Bullard, Jonas Varnaya, Dylan Sampson, RJ Harvey still here. I know Damian Martinez is starting to get a little more hype, but I do like Dylan Sampson. I think he could be a solid addition to that running back room. Jets, we went Tyler Warren and Trey Amos. I think now that you have those two guys, maybe you look at one of these tackles. I'm gonna look at one of them, and I think I'm gonna take Marcus Bowe over Jonas Abatinaya, out of Purdue. Patriots again. We just went Dylan Sampson. So I think now you could look at one of those tackles. The only thing that worries me about Jonas Savaiinaya and Wyatt Milam is they both project as potentially guards. Same with Cameron Williams. Anthony Belton's here. I think I'm going to hold off on tackle now. Actually, I think I might take Anthony Belton at 106. What do we do with the Patriots here? Front seven depth, Omar Norman Lott still here. Old Josiah Stewart is still here. That's a guy that if you watch some of our videos, you know I like him a lot. We're gonna take him there at 76. Dolphins at 98. We got Kelvin Banks Jr. and Azariah Thomas. I think now you can just kind of look, whatever. Cameron Williams still here. Maybe pair him up with Kelvin Banks. I think that's in play. Backup tight end to Jonnu Smith. Harold Phantom Jr. is there. I think that'd be interesting. IDL, I think, is in play. I think safety's in play. What IDLs are left? Deion Walker, Jamari Caldwell. Nobody super insane that I like. Any of the safeties that I still like still here. RJ Mickens is. That would be a little bit of a reach though at 98. You know what? I'm gonna take Cameron Williams out of Texas. Pair him up with his buddy. New England Patriots. We have a tackle that might play guard. We got an edge rusher to help in there. We got a halfback. We got a wide receiver. I think now. Hmm, I don't mind RJ Mickens. I don't mind JJ Pigue, however you say it either. We're gonna take in JJ Pigue out of Mississippi. Bills, we got an IDL, a corner, and a safety. I think now I think this is where you probably look receiver, maybe edge depth. Let's see what edge rushers are still here real quick. Oladejo's fine. I think Oladejo's fine. Not many guys I like there though. Kyle Williams is still here. Isaiah Bond is probably going to fall now due to his off-field issues. Yeah, we'll take Kyle Williams out of Washington State. I'm surprised he's still there, actually. Jets, we took a tight end, a corner, and a tackle. So what should we target now for the New York Jets? Took a tight end, a tackle, and a corner. I think if you're the Jets now, I think you probably just target front seven depth. Maybe RJ Mickens can go in there and be depth there. Front seven depth. If y'all know me, y'all know that there's a defensive lineman and IDL that I like way down there. Jamari Cardwell's fine as well. But y'all know that I like Thor Griffith and Howard Cross the third, way down there as value picks. But we're just gonna take Jamari Cardwell for now. We got two tackles technically, but one's probably playing guard, one's probably playing tackle for the Miami Dolphins. We've got a cornerback, so I think you look IDL, safety, and backup tight end here. Tight end wise, Gunnar Helm's still here. Mitchell Evans, Benjamin Urasek. I think Gunnar Helm, dude, we are just wow. That's three Texas players for the Dolphins. Okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and take actually we took Ancient McCuba already. I was just gonna take RJ Mickens here. I think he's BPA for sure. I mean maybe an edge rusher, edge depth. Is Oladejo still here? Probably not. That's very loud. Me clicking everywhere. What about Baron Sorrell? Not terrible grades, not too familiar with them. We're just Texasing it up. Savion Jones, Antoine Powell, Ryland. These are guys that I haven't really watched. Tyler Barron, RJ Oben. I see. I didn't think RJ Oben was that bad. I like Johnny Walker Jr. We're gonna take Savion Jones. Why not? Edge rusher at LSU. Dolphins need a safety. We're gonna take RJ Mickens for sure. Patriots. We got an IDL, an edge rusher, a halfback, a wide receiver, a tackle. Um, they're a guard is sitting here anywhere. Like Tate Ratledge still here. Seth McLaughlin's not. Oh, Tyler Cooper out of Minnesota. I don't mind that one. All right, Jets here at what pick are we at? 145. We did get I'm trying to just make sure we got everything on the needs list. We did for them pretty much front seven depth, secondary depth. What corners and stuff are still here? Elijah Huzzy, Quincy Riley, Zoff Frazier out of UTSA. That's not a bad pick. Miami Dolphins. Take Seth McLaughlin. I think it's kind of like BPA at this point for me. Seth McLaughlin's not terrible. Maybe he ends up being your center of the future. Miami Dolphins again. Take a wide receiver here. Let's take a wide receiver here. I don't think it's a bad idea. Now you know how they draft them. Fastest guy available. Not too sure about fastest guy on the board here. Oh man, yeah, it's terrible news this morning. RIP Kyron Lacey, by the way. I just felt like I had to say that real quick since we went past his name. That's really sad to see. Um, that news hit the waiver or the wire this morning, I guess. I was gonna say waiver wire. I'm used to talking about fantasy stuff. I'm gonna take Antoine Wells Jr. out of Mississippi. It's a guy that you've been around the channel, you know I like. Jets really just taking depth at this point. Let's go with Jordan Hancock. Don't mind him that much. Bills. Mm, again, I think it's depth BPA. I'm not super familiar with some guys on the board here. Really, this is the late rounds. We're gonna take Logan Brown tackle out of Kansas. And then we're gonna take Ty Robinson IDL out of Nebraska. Patriots. Mm, Get a third quarterback in the room. Why not? Let's take Tyler Shuck out of Louisville. Bills again. Let's go with Ty Felton, wide receiver out of Maryland, and Robert Longerbeam, cornerback out of Rutgers. Just BPA really for them at this point. They don't really need anybody. Let's get another quarterback in the room for the Jets. Why don't we? Let's go Kyle McCord, local product. Okay. Bills. Did we get everything for the Bills? Let's make sure here. IDL. We got a safety. We got a corner. We got edge depth. And we got two wide receivers plus another corner plus another IDL plus a tackle. You know what? Another safety. Why don't we? Another safety or edge rusher, one of those two. Safeties. Upton Stout out of Western Kentucky. I think Sean McDermott would like him. Jets, making sure we got everything here. We got a tackle. We got secondary depth and a good player at that with Trey Amos. We got a tight end. We got IDL for front seven depth. We don't have an edge rusher for front seven depth. Let's go take an edge rusher. Let's take Johnny Walker Jr. out of Missouri. It's a later round guy that I like. Patriots again. I just feel like it's BPA at this point. Did we only take one receiver? We did only take one receiver. Let's take another one just for depth purposes. I think Theo Weiss Jr., Caden Prather, probably the two best options here. I forgot about Zachary Franklin. Miami Dolphins. Let's make sure we got everything here. Last few picks coming up. They have 4 picks left. I might just trade these picks. You know what? Detroit, give us that. We'll give you both of these. You know, we'll even give you 3 just to get the picks down. Miami Dolphins last pick here. Make sure we got everything. We got a tackle guard. We got a backup tight end. We got a safety. Interior depth, a wide receiver depth, cornerback depth. We didn't take IDL. We never took IDL for Miami. I had that listed. That's sad. Kind of upset. Oh, but both my guys are still there. I'm gonna take Thor Griffith out of Louisville. I wish I'd had both those picks now, or two of those picks. I would have took both those guys. Patriots, make sure we got everything. We got the line. We got the guard and the tackle. Um, Front seven depth. We did get JJ Pigu and Prigo, or how you say it, and Josiah Stewart. I think you could probably just target that again with this last pick here. We did get a halfback as well, and we also went and got two receivers. I think we could target front seven depth here. Let's see if Howard Cross the third's still there. And they on IDO. He is. Let's take him out of Notre Dame. And that's the draft. There we go. That is it. That is how we do it here with a full division 7 round mock draft. I know that was a long video. I know it was probably not as fun to watch towards the end. But yeah, man. It's fun. It's a fun time. And I enjoy doing it. Recap: Will Campbell at 4, Tyler Warren at 7, Kelvin Banks Jr. at 13, and then Walter Nolan at 30. Second round, Jaden Higgins at 38, Trey Amos at 42, Azariah Thomas at 48, Benjamin Morrison at 56, Benjamin McCube at 62. Round 3, we got Dylan Sampson of the Patriots, Marcus Bowe to the Jets, Josiah Stewart to the Patriots, Cameron Williams to the Dolphins. Fourth round, JJ Pigo to the Patriots, Kyle Williams to the Bills, Jamari Caldwell to the Jets, Gunnar Helm to the Dolphins. Savion Jones to the Bills. Fifth round, we got Tyler Cooper to the Patriots, Zaw Frazier to the Jets, Seth McLaughlin to the Dolphins, Antoine Wells, Juice Wells Jr. out of Mississippi to the Dolphins, Jordan Hancock to the Jets, Logan Brown to the Bills, Ty Robinson to the Bills, Tyler Shutt to the Patriots, Ty Felton to the Bills, Robert Longerbean to the Bills, Kyle McCord to the Jets. Oh, this is 6th round, by the way, now. Upton Stout to the Bills, Johnny Walker Jr. to the Jets, Zachary Franklin to the Patriots, Thor Griffith to the Dolphins, Howard Cross the third to the Patriots, and that finished it out with Rondé Gadsden the second being Mr. Irrelevant to the Chiefs. All right, well, that is the video for this week. AFC East, full 7 round mock draft, Patriots, Bills, Jets, and Patriots, Bills, Jets, and Patriots, Bills, Jets, and Dolphins. There we go. We got the last team in that division, but I appreciate y'all watching. And I appreciate the love and support each and every week on the videos. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this draft cycle from me. We'll see you hopefully Thursday. Hopefully we get that video up. I don't want to be like, hey, we're getting 2 videos out for the last 2 weeks of the draft and then not be able to do it. But I'm really hoping I'm going to be able to do it. Get that full 2 round mock draft. I might be able to not record it until Thursday, so it might either go up late Thursday or I might end up uploading it Friday afternoon. But again, I appreciate the love and support, and hope y'all enjoyed this one. See y'all next time. Peace.